Glad you all got here. This is all about relationships in a sexual culture. It's everything that you wish you would have learned in school, but you weren't told. So it's all about guys. In fact, here's the three things we're going to talk about. Number one, what's the difference between men and women? But not that part. I want to talk about stuff that nobody ever talks about. Why are guys the way they are? Why do they do the stuff that they do? And why is the number one word that girls use to describe guys jerk? You know it is. Why? When two guys meet each other, they're best friends, when they meet each other in the hallway at school, what do they do when they meet? Yeah, sup. Boom. And they slug each other. Why? I went to one school and two guys were coming in the front door of the school, karate kicking each other in the crotch. And girls stood and watched them. They're all morons. Why? Why do guys do stuff like that? Girls, you ever watch guys walking down the hallway and for no reason jump up and start slapping stuff? Why? Why are they like that? Or do girls ever do this? Hey, pull my finger. I mean, it's always guys that do stuff like that. Why do girls do the stuff that they do? When two girls meet each other, they're best friends. When two girls meet each other in the hallway, what do they do when they meet? Yeah. They jumping around. They jump in each other's arms, and there's girls that walked in the building here tonight, arm in arm with each other, just kind of watching, and guys going, holy moly. Why? Why are girls like that? Why do girls go to the bathroom in groups? What are they doing there? It's like, guys, yeah, what? See, guys just go in and leave. But girls go in, they talk and share and chat and do all this stuff. It's amazing. Do you girls know that guys don't even talk in bathrooms? It's against the rules. And all guys know that. In fact, watch, I got to show you this. Guys, if there was 4 urinals, and if a guy was using number 2, which one would you use? 4. And all guys know it, because if he uses 1 or 3, number 2 guy would freak out. Hey, 4's open, you got a problem. I mean, and by the way, guys, the only way that will ever change is if there's a wall between them. Now it's okay. Hey, everything okay over there? See, now they can talk. Why? Why are we like that? Why is it so hard for guys to understand girls? We don't have a clue. In fact, I have, as we go through this night, I have a stack of about 22,000 letters from students your age. It's just this humongous stack. Here's one letter from a guy. Listen to this guy, and I have lots like this. Listen to this. I wish you would have gone further into the issue of why girls are so hard to get along with and why when you think you finally got them figured out, they totally flip and what they want isn't the same thing as what they used to want when you didn't know what it was they wanted. I have a good friend who lives next door and she gets mad at me and sometimes I don't know why. When I ask her why, she says, I think you know why, when I don't have a clue. Then she gets mad at me because I'm so insensitive to know why she's mad at me. It makes me so frustrated I want to cry. Could you please tell girls that us guys are stupid and really don't know why they're mad at us, and if they tell us, we can fix it? See, this is so common. I have number one question that guys have for girls. What do you want? And girls won't tell them because then they'll know. And guys go, that's the point. See, guys feel totally lost. That's number one thing we're going to talk about. Number 2 thing we're going to talk about is I want to give you a definition of love. And it's not that I think you're stupid or something. It's just people don't know. And let me tell you why I say that. How many of you in this room have ever had a boyfriend or a girlfriend that told you, I love you? Look around. Okay, put your hand down. How many found out they lied? It's almost the same hands. Just because somebody says I love you doesn't mean squat. How do you know when they do? In fact, you girls, if you girls don't know this, the guys all learned it from the upperclassmen. You tell a girl at just the right time, place, setting, I love you, she will fall all over herself for a guy. So guys go out on the first date, I love you, sucker. Just because somebody says I love you doesn't mean squat. How do you know when they do? And by the end of this 2 hours, you're going to know if your boyfriend or girlfriend loves you or not. Look at you. I don't think I want to know. I think it was last year, I went to 2 different schools that were really small groups, there was like 80 kids in each one. Both schools, the following day, that night, every girl in the room broke up with her boyfriend that night. You know how I know that? Because the school counselor called me the next day laughing. I got a line of guys, they're all in the hallway crying. Now, you guys, the goal isn't to break you up here for crying out loud. The goal is for you guys to understand what real love is, and when you got the real thing, you never go back to the fake, ever. Who'd want to? See? But first thing is differences. Second thing is about love. Third thing we're going to talk about is about sex. Okay. We're going to put guys over here and girls over here, and I'm going to give, I'm going to give you 2 or 3, 4 major differences between men and women. Now, I don't know if you're familiar with this. Do you know that some colleges are trying to teach us that men and women are the same? It's called higher education. It's a total crock. Guys, from the top of our head to the bottom of our feet, men are totally different than women. Every cell's different. In fact, listen to this. Listen, a real short list. Guys snore more, they fight more, they change their minds more, their blood is redder, their daylight vision's better. Guys have thicker veins, longer vocal cords. That's why guys talk low. Longer vocal cords. Our metabolic rate tends to be higher. Guys are more left-handed. Color blindness is like 16 guys to 1 girl. ADD, ADHD, is that guys or girls? Oh, yeah. I went to one school and there was a guy walking in the door and he's just standing there. I said, hey man, what's wrong? He says, ADD. See, the average guy in this room, you're 50% stronger than the average girl in the room. Girls here, you have better hearing, taste, touch, smell. If there's a drippy faucet at your house, who'd hear it first, mom or dad? It's always mom. Hey, somebody fix that. And dad goes, what? Because he didn't hear it, but he looks like a moron. They put little tiny microphones on 2- and 3-year-old little kids, and then they just followed them around for like a week, and then they took everything and kind of put it all together in a group to see the difference between what little girls do and what little boys do. You know, almost 100% of what comes out of little girl's mouth, she's communicating. Talking to the trees, the rocks, her dog, her mom, the wall. She's talking to everything. 40% of what comes out of little boy's mouth is just noise. There's a guy in the back. The guy in the back before we were starting is, whoa! Yelling. So this happens all the time. In fact, my wife and I went to a Mariners game. This was, I don't know, was 3 weeks ago. And a guy sitting right, it's always the guy behind me. He's sitting right there. And every time the Mariners would do something, he's standing and go, whoa! Start yelling, and then he's standing there, you know. And the women are all sitting there talking and sharing and chatting. It's like, and I was ready to kill this guy. See, but I mean, we're totally different. Look at this difference. Now, ladies, I don't mean to embarrass you, but this is funny. Every 28 days, you girls are going to have 1 egg. I don't know if you knew this. I've had lots of doctors sit in on this, but do you girls know that the day you were born, you have every egg you're going to have? I didn't know that. There's like 400,000 of them. So, but anyway, every 28 days, your body brings one down the chute, and you get pregnant. So anyway, guys look at this and they go, big deal. You know why? Because every 15 minutes, guys produce 200 to 800 million sperm. Look at it. Woo! I mean, and we're going to be here for 2 hours. Think about that. Look at the girls. Oh my gosh, I can't. See, I mean, theoretically, that means theoretically any one guy in this room in 2 hours could impregnate the entire world. And I've met some high school guys like a shot at that. Thank you, I'll try that. See, you guys ever read the newspaper? Many innocent, you know, like every time there's a war, many innocent women were killed during the Kosovo War. Do they ever say that about guys? Do you know why we protect women in our society? Do you know why we throw guys away? In war. Hey, there's a guy. It's like shooting skeet or something. I mean, listen to this. Listen how funny this sounds. Many innocent men were killed in the Kosovo War. It doesn't even sound right. See that? I mean, if that was the only difference between us, you realize how huge that is? It's huge. But you guys, these are the relationship differences. You ever have a boyfriend, girlfriend? You're going to run so smack into the back. If you ever get a job where you're dealing with men and women, you know, somebody of the opposite sex as you, you're gonna run smack into this. You can't help it. In fact, you're about to see your mom and dad for the first time. It's going to scare you. One last thing before I start. Are all guys like I'm going to describe? Oh, no. Almost all guys. But not every guy's like this. Are all girls like this? Oh, no. But most are. Okay? So, number one, big thing. Now, I'll share this as I go along and explain it. Guys tend to be impersonal. In other words, not very personal, which is a very cool trait, but girls don't like it. But it's a very good thing. I'll explain in a minute. Girls, though, tend to be very personal. I did an assembly one time, and I had just written those words on the board. I turn around, and I was just starting to explain it, and a girl in the front row yells back at me, "We are not!" I hadn't said anything. She's already mad at me. It's amazing. I had a mom one time come. She wanted to hear what, I mean, we got some parents here today and teachers, but she wanted to hear what I was going to say to her daughter, which was great. But so the assembly hadn't started. No one was in the room except myself and the mom and the daughter. And I said, "Hey, I'm glad you came. It's good you got here early, because you know what? There's only one padded chair in the whole building, and it's right here in front. You can have that." And the mom says, "You think I need it?" Would a guy ever say that? Not a chance. I mean, you ever watch guys play basketball or some sport? It's very funny. They choose up teams, and within 2 or 3 minutes, they're yelling at each other. They're best friends. "What a jerk! Huh? They're spitting on each other!" Oh! And then they go eat. And girls go, aren't you still mad at that guy?" We're hungry." There's no connection at all between the basketball, the fighting, and the eating. You ever watch two guys, their best friends, leave the parking lot of your school? They're best friends. And they're, yelling at each other. "Ah! You men, they're flipping each other, and I can't." And the girl goes, "God, isn't that your best friend?" "Yeah." You see that? What happens when two girls get in a fight? How long does it last? Oh yeah, there's some girls sitting in this room right now. You're still mad at that girl in 8th grade. You'd be walking down the hallway, this girl go, do you know what she said to me in the 8th grade? Look at the guys. Look at them. You don't even remember the 8th grade, do you? The whole thing's gone. It's like, man, see that? In fact, you know the only people that ever argue at the end of this talk? The only people that come up and argue whether this stuff's true or not afterwards are girls. "That is not true, and furthermore, in your face," and guys in this room, you disagree, you'll flip me off and walk out. It's just a totally different thing, see? Guys think everybody's the same. Guys treat everybody like they're the same. Two guys meet each other in the hallway, so boom, they start slugging each other. So guys see girls in the hallway that they know, hi, boom. Books are flying everywhere. "Don't you know I'm a girl?" "Yeah." See, so who looks like the jerk? But see, guys treat everybody the same. So in fact, how do I say this? It's almost like guys think girls are just guys with different bodies on. And they like that. So guys treat girls like they do guys. So guys try to talk to girls like they do to each other. And that's guys' first huge mistake when it comes to relationships. And it's huge. Here's why. Girls. How many girls in this room have an older brother? Oh, okay, we got enough. Do you ever see him stand in front of a mirror when he thinks you're not watching him? What do almost all guys do in front of a mirror when they think no one's watching? Yeah, they kind of look around. See, 68% of all guys who will stand in front of a mirror with no clothes on, they like their bodies. Just, all right. See, they think it's funny. But only 22% of girls do. Most girls don't like their bodies. They'll stand in front of a mirror with no clothes and and then they try to fix whatever goes wrong. So what happens is, guys come to school thinking girls are the same, and they're not. So guys, they're just screwed around. They'll say comments to girls like they say to each other. Girls, that's why you'll hear a guy at school see a girl go, "Hey, nice butt." See, to him, that's really funny. But what he doesn't know is 5 minutes before he said that, she was standing in the mirror looking at her butt, and she didn't like it, and moron brought it up. I was I'm from a little town around here, and this guy, 6'2" basketball player kid, it was in a junior high, middle school. So he was the oldest guy in the group. 6'2", basketball player. And I went out to get a drink of water, and he goes out in the hallway, and he sees a girl at the far end of the hall, and he goes, "You!" The whole hall stops, and this girl way at the far end, she goes, "Me?" He goes, "Yeah, you're ugly." Did when I said that? As soon as I said, "You're ugly," the girls go, and the guys are all, that's really funny. That girl goes by, slaps her hands, "You're ugly too," which is the only thing she could come up with. She came into my classroom, and she was the only person in the room except myself. She slams her books on the table, looked up at the ceiling, she started talking to it. I saw her do it. She goes, "Why'd he say that?" "Well, he didn't mean it." "Well, if he didn't mean it, why'd he say it?" And it goes right here, and it never, ever comes out. Ever. Never. Worst thing I ever heard a guy say to a girl, worst thing, this guy and this girl were talking. Actually, the girl was talking, but the guy was just staring at her. And this went on for like 5 minutes. She knows that he's staring, but she doesn't know why. So she keeps talking, and at the same time, she's trying to figure out what he's looking at. And finally, she can't stand it. She goes, "What? What?" And the guy goes, "When are you going to shave that mustache?" Look at the guys. Do girls ever forget that? Not a chance. By the way, y'all know what an anorexic bulimic is? How come it is that 90 to 98% of all anorexic bulimics are women? It's got something to do with this. I was at, you guys ever been to Young Life Malibu up in Canada? A couple of you have. I did this talk, this is a couple years back, and this girl comes up afterwards. She goes, "I'm an anorexic bulimic, can I talk to you?" And I'd never really got to sit down and talk to a girl that struggled with that. I said, "Oh, man, I really want to talk to you." I said, "Can I ask you a question now, right up? What started this anorexic stuff? I mean, did somebody say something, or did somebody?" She goes, "I'll tell you exactly what it was." I thought she could have slugged me. So she goes, she told me the story. She was at the big, huge mall real close to us, and she was with her boyfriend, arm in arm, walking down the thing. And this really good-looking girl went the opposite direction. What'd the guy do? Yeah, he's checking the girl out. Well, she saw that, and she got so mad. And the poor guy, he didn't know that she saw him, sir. So he's, walking, and she grabbed his arm and yanked him. Well, when she yanked him, his head was turned, so when she yanked him, it snapped the guy's neck. All the air just got sucked out of the room. So now, I wasn't there, she's just explaining this. She's standing in the middle of the mall, and she is mad. He's behind her, oh, shoot. And he's freaking out. Finally, he looks around, and he goes, "God, whoa, you're getting a little big in the rear, aren't you?" And that girl looked at me, and I wasn't there. She's just telling me the story. Her fingers started shaking. She goes, "I vowed nobody would say that to me again." She went on a crash diet and almost died from one comment from a guy. Unheard of. I could go up to any guy in this room, "Get a little big in the rear, aren't you?" Guys always have comebacks for that. "You're bald." It's like, who cares? Guys do stuff like that. Hey, girls, do you know that guys actually practice put-downs? It's an art form. Guys, you ever watch girls try and put down their boyfriend? You awful person. And the guys say, no, let me show you how that's done. Is that your head or your neck throw up? You're so ugly you'd make a train take a dirt road. See, that's a put down. Guys practice that because it's funny. Do you get this? Oh gosh. Who's the most competitive between these two? It's girls. And that's where guys make their second huge mistake. First mistake is trying to talk to girls the same way they talk to each other. Second one is guys think they're the most competitive, and they're not. Girls are. Guys compete at stupid stuff. If I had a guy come down and sit next to a whole bunch of guys, and I had him belch, do you know what every guy around him would do? This great big contest would start. It'd be hysterical. If I can handle one guy a 20-ounce Coke and another guy a 20-ounce Coke, what do you got? It's a chugging contest. You know, blah, 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 blah. You ever watch it? Or girls, you ever come into a room like this, the place is totally empty, and two guys can sit anywhere they want, but they'll fight for the same chair. Why? Because it's fun. And girls just think we're a bunch of morons. But we're just screwing around. Girls, does anybody pass your boyfriend or your dad on the freeway? Do you know how many guys count cars that pass them till they can't stand it? That's 7! It drives him crazy. PLU, Pacific Lutheran University, which isn't too far from us, two guys were competing to see how high out of a building they can jump. They're in the 5th and 6th floors. You guys, as tall as this building is, that's about 4. Real close to that. They're in the 5th and 6th floors. You know their only rule? Is you can't break anything. Hey, broke your leg, man. You got to jump again. No, he's dragging his foot. And girls just think we're crazy. You ever go any snowboarders or skiers in a group? Okay, this tape is being done in kind of the Tacoma, Seattle area. So we had a lot of snow and stuff. We have a cabin up in Stevens Pass, and you take 20 guys, 20 girls, and you watch the difference in the way they ski. Guys go up the chair and over cliffs and jabbing each other with poles. I won. Nobody cares, but they're totally into it. You ever go with girls? Oh, gee. They go up the chair and then halfway down they stop. Did you see that guy? Yeah, he was really cute. He's like, and the guys are all down. They've eaten breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Nobody's showed up. I'm going to kill those girls if they ever get here. Drives them crazy. But see, that is not the way girls compete. Girls compete very personally. Want proof? Hey, ladies. Let's say you're going to go to the senior prom with your boyfriend. You get your hair done, cool dress. You go to the dance and you're looking really good. In the door comes a girl with the same dress on as you. What would you do, girls?
Rip it off.
How many guys pay $5 to watch that? I mean, I had that happen all the time. I'd rip it off of her. See, it's like, who do girls dress for? Hello? Yeah, guys, they dress for us. No, they don't. You want proof? Everybody close your eyes. Close your eyes. Do not look around. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. Some learning disabilities. Okay, without peeking, what's everybody on your left and right and in front of you wearing? Did you hear it? You can all look up. As soon as I do that, the guy goes, clothes. One guy last year, underwear. I mean, who cares and who knows? But girls, well, she has on this and she has on that. Did you ever watch it? Girls, if a girl came in with it, guys, if a girl comes in the dance with the same dress on as your girlfriend, this is the way most girls. Now, are all girls like I'm describing? Oh, no, but most are. This is exactly what happens, and it's not out loud, it's right here. Most girls will go just like this. That girl looks better in my dress. It is not her dress, it's my dress. But she looks better than I do. Or more than likely, I look far better than she does in my dress. Then they'll hang out at opposite sides of the room all night. They'll keep track wherever that girl goes, because they don't want to suddenly be standing side by side and everybody in the room judge who's better looking in the dress. What do the guys all wear to that dance? The same thing. Nice cummerbund, thank you. I picked this out by myself. You see that? Who do girls dress for? They dress for each other, and the competition's huge. So guys, you go around making comments to a girl. You think it's funny, but it hurts. She'll never forget what you said, who said it, and in 48 hours, every girl in school knows you said it. So I've watched some freshman guy say something stupid to a girl. Man, he's screwed for the rest of his high school days. It's amazing. You want more of this? Watch this. This is really funny. What's your first name? What? Richard. Be proud, Richard. Okay. Richard, how old are you? What? 20. How tall are you? 5'9". How much you weigh? 130. Really? 131. Do you know what size jeans you wear? No. Do you know that that's common? The majority of guys in this room have no idea what size clothes they wear. Because we just don't think that way. Now, some of you do, but most guys, when I ask that question, they don't know. Guys go in, try stuff on, and yeah, okay, it fits, and they buy it. Or they send their mom. But it's one of the two. Now, that's a typical girl. Richard, right? He's 20, he's 5'9", 131 pounds, doesn't know what size he is. Typical guy. Now let me pick a girl here. Okay, 2 things just happened in the room. Usually there's 3 things that happen as soon as I do that. Okay, we need a girl here. The girls they're all trying to disappear. Second thing that always happens is always some guy goes, pick her. And the girls go, you moron. Third thing that happens every once in a while, some girl will go, I'll do it. But that girl is never 10, 15, 20 pounds overweight. She's always got kind of the perfect figure. Yes, I'm this old and I'm this tall, and you can see. And every other girl in the room would be comparing herself to that girl and hate her for it. Do you get this? Or girls, you don't believe that? Hey, girls, let's say you go to a store and you found a really cool dress. I mean, you look good in this dress. What's weird is you found the identical same dress in a second store. Okay, they're the same dress, same maker, same everything, except what's weird is, at one store it's a size 5, the other one is a size 7, but the size 5 costs you $10 more. Which one would you buy? Oh, yeah. By the way, guys look at this and they go, what? That's 2 Happy Meals. They don't get that at all. In fact, most guys go, hey, there's a better way. Get a felt tip pen and turn a 7 into a 5. Nobody will ever know. See that? I mean, they don't get this at all. Who do girls dress for? They dress in competition with each other, and the competition's huge. You guys in this room, you don't understand that? You're in a big world of hurt. Guys are goal-oriented. Girls, here we go. Hi. Girls tend to be detail. Oh my gosh, this is why you guys in this room, this is why you guys could go, you could go play sports 2 or 3 hours nonstop, and you'd be less tired doing that for 2 hours than 15 minutes of window shopping with her. Why are guys ready to drop dead of exhaustion after 15 minutes of window shopping? Guys? It's stupid, it's boring. Now girls, you want to know why? Here's why. What are you looking for? I don't know, but when I find it, I'll know. That drives guys crazy. Now, girls, or guys, watch this. Why do girls feel that way? Think about this. Guys, you know, the goal is to go in and shop and leave. See that? And the girls go, well, no, not necessarily at all. See, but girls, it's not that a guy doesn't want to be with you, but this is the way it looks like to a girl. Hey, you can be with your guy friends for 2 hours and not get tired, but you're with me for 15 minutes and you're ready to drop dead of exhaustion. You must like your guy friends more than you like me. See, and girls, that's not it. He doesn't get the point. How can you shop for 45 minutes and never buy anything? That doesn't make any sense to him at all. You see that? Details. My gosh, if I had everybody in this room take out a piece of paper and pencil all by yourself, and I said, you got 60 seconds to write down as many colors as you can think of. Just list colors. Go. There'd be some girls in this room come up with 50, 60 colors. Guys come up with 7. 2 of those are blonde and brunette. I mean, we don't even think that. Watch this. Do you know what mauve is? Do you know what taupe is? You're wearing it. Do you know what aubergine is? Do you know what puce is? Most guys think puce. Hey, somebody puced up here. I've had grown men say that. I mean, so we don't get stuff like that. You ever watch your mom and dad get in a car to go someplace? It's hysterical. Dad goes, okay, let's go. She goes, great. She jumps in the car, or he jumps in the car, you know, and 20 minutes later, she still isn't out there. What's she doing? See, guys always say, she's getting her makeup on, she's still getting dressed. No, she's not. She's locking the door, turning the lights off, putting the dogs away, making sure the dishwasher's going, the heat's turned off. She jumps in the car, and her husband goes, the goal is to get in the car and leave. We're never going to get there if you don't get your rear gear. See that? Well, the kids could have froze their butts off her. Yeah, but the point is to get in the car, and this big fight starts, they're going to church. By the time they get there, they're all ticked at each other. It's crazy. My wife and I like to climb mountains and go on hikes. You know, have a cabin up there. Guys in the room, what would the goal of a hike be? Yeah, to get to the top. We get 30 minutes. Go! You know, and out the door we go. Within 5 minutes, and this is no stretch at all, within 5 minutes, you know what my wife's doing? Chipmunks, squirrels, flowers, meeting people, taking group pictures and stuff. Just right. There's one time we didn't even get out of the parking lot up on Mount Rainier, and I'm sitting there. Wow, we can get clear up there. I said, the goal is to get to the top. She goes, well, not necessarily. If you can't have fun and share and talk to the squirrels and enjoy yourself, why would you want to do that? Because it's there. See that? Think about sex. Hey guys, what's the goal? To get to the... And the girl goes, not necessarily. If you can't have fun and share and talk to the squirrels and enjoy yourself and have fun and everything, why would you want to do that? And the guy goes, because it's there. So even when it comes to sex, who looks like the moron? It's the guy. Now, girls in the room, this is critical that you see this. Girls, how come it is that there's guys in your school who will go to bed with, quote, easy girls, but easy girls always get dumped? You know that's true, Diane. It's not a sort of, kind of, maybe sometimes. You look back 2 years ago, the kids that were having sex, are they still together? I'll bet you'd be hard-pressed to name one couple that's still together that was having sex. So there's guys that will go to bed with easy girls, but easy girls always get dumped. Why, though? Here's why. Well, at least the question for the girls comes up and says, now wait, if she's easy to get to bed, that means that he could have sex anytime he wants it. So why would he dump her? See, that doesn't make any sense. By the way, I said that in an assembly in Seattle. I won't tell you what school, but there was 900 high school kids sitting in the assembly. I said, so how come the guy dumps her? And the place went dead quiet, except for one guy at the top of the bleachers yells back, because that was no challenge. And I thought the girls were going to kill him. I mean, they're climbing the bleachers looking for this guy. See? Now, girls in the room, there won't be I'll bet you almost any amount of money, there won't be a guy in this room that'll disagree with this statement. Not one. If a girl's easy to get to bed, she isn't worth keeping. All guys know that. Hey, girls, in the last 6 years of doing this talk full time, all over 9-10 states, I have yet to have one guy disagree with that. Junior high, high school, college, adults, not one guy. If a girl's easy to get to bed, no guy wants to stay with her. You know why? Because if a girl's easy to get to bed, that means by definition she's easy. Any guy can get her because she's easy. If any old guy can get her, that means that I'm just any guy. The heck I am. I'm better than that. No guy will stay with an easy girl. Is there any guy in this room that you could, when you were a little kid, you could hardly wait to meet and marry the town slut? No guy wants that. In fact, it'd be so easy to prove that guys are looking for the virgins. And I'll explain that in a little bit. But it's this. Now, by the way, girls, the goal-oriented thing, have you girls ever heard a girl say this about her boyfriend? Is that all they think about? Now, that could be sex, sports, cars, food, money. It can be all kinds of stuff. But is that all he thinks about? Because guys are so one-track minded that they just get kind of locked in. Now, girls, that drives you crazy. But when you get married to a guy, that is the thing you're going to love most about your husband, that he's goal-oriented. Can you imagine marrying a guy that's not goal-oriented? He gets up in the morning, gets all dressed for work. See ya. Out the door he goes. 5 minutes later, he comes back in, taking his tie off. He goes, I'm just going to watch soaps. What would you say to your husband? Be nice. Get your rear out. Don't you let anybody keep you from reaching the very thing that you don't like about a guy in high school. So girls, this is an extremely important thing. But if a guy misuses it, and if girls allow him to misuse it, they fall right into a trap and they never recover from it. You see it? Are you all right? Okay, that's all number one. Number two difference, and guys in this room, this is the killer for guys. Language. Or communication, whatever word you want to write. Underneath the guy's side, it's the word thinking. Underneath the girl's side, it's the word feeling. Now, let me say right off the bat, this does not mean that girls don't think. Only guys do. My wife is in the background back there. My wife, I'll tell you now, she's brilliant. She is brilliant. She thinks well. She reads like crazy. She's brilliant. But that's the way she communicates in a relationship. Okay? I'm a guy. I have deep feelings about some stuff as a guy. But that's the way I communicate in a relationship. Now, really weird. Do you know the average guy in this room uses 12,000 words a day? It's the average guy. Average girl, 24,000. Twice. When your dad comes home from work at night, what does he do when he gets home? Yeah, I'm hearing it all over. Grab something to drink. Boom. Why? Because he's done. Man, he's used up his 12,000. He just wants to shut up. Mom comes in. She's got 12,000 more to go. Hi, what happened to work? Blah, blah. I'm done. Yeah, but see, I got 12,000 more. I don't care. Yeah, but see if you love me. Well, shut up. I'm trying to watch the game, for Pete's sake. Drives him crazy. Look at this. There's a school in my hometown. It was all ninth grades, about 125 students. They all heard, it was a 3-hour talk of what you're getting tonight. The following day, they all had to write me a letter. Now, the teacher didn't get to read any of them. They went in an envelope. They came directly to me. They could say anything they wanted, but I wanted to know, just, was it helpful? Was it true? Blah, 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 blah. Then I took all the girls' letters, because almost everybody signed them. I took all the girls' letters, combined them, and this is every girl's letter. But you're only looking at the first page of every girl's letter. Okay? Every page you see is a different girl. Now, I don't know how many of these girls had 3, 4, 5 pages. Okay? But each page you're looking at is a different girl. Okay? This is every guy. Not one guy was even close to one page. The only people that draw weird, horny stuff are guys. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. I got this letter from a girl. She sent it in the mail. Look at this. And I have hundreds like this. Page 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. She told me about her boyfriend, her parents, Jell-O. Like I care or something. You want to see a typical guy's letter? Thank you, Jeff. See? Or look at this. Look at this. This is one of the funniest letters I ever got. It's actually from a guy. He got to page 2, one word, but he got there. But listen to his letter. I thought your speech was pretty cool, but haha, I wrote longer than a page. 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 Look at the girls. What a moron. The guys are going, that's funny. I mean, it's just crazy. Now, here's what, guys in the room, this is where this gets really tricky, okay? Now, are all guys like I'm describing? No, but most are. Are all girls like this? No, but most are. Guys in relationship tend to communicate what they're thinking right now. They're much more spontaneous than girls are. Guys, is there anything wrong with that? Heck no, it's fun. Can that get a guy in trouble, though? Oh, yeah, it doesn't have to, but girls tend to communicate what they've been thinking, talking, sharing, feeling, praying, thinking, praying, sharing, feeling, thinking, talking, sharing, and then they say it. So, guy and a girl are going to go out on a date. She will call all of her girlfriends and get on the phone and talk for hours about this guy she's going to go out on the date. Do guys do that with each other? Do guys call each other, is your relationship with Mary working? Are you happy? I mean, what do you guys talk about? I mean, they don't do that, but girls will do that for hours. Then, on the date, these two are together. After all this communicating and talking and thinking, she looks at her boyfriend and she goes, I love you. What she means by I love you is, I love you, this could last for a lifetime, we might be talking marriage here. But she only said, I love you. He hears her say, I love you, and he goes, that's a good idea. I love you too. He just thought of that. She hears him say, I love you, and she goes, that's what I said to him. He must mean the same that I do. I love you, this could last for a lifetime, we might be talking marriage. Next week, he's telling a different girl, I love you. He just thought of that too. First girl finds out, she's mad. You said you love me, this is going to last for a lifetime, we were talking marriage. No, I didn't. I said I loved you, that was last week, I meant that. Now I love her. So who looks like the jerk? Who looks like the jerk? It's the guys. Now, girls in the room, here's the problem. Did the guy lie, though? Oh, so he told the truth, and he's still a jerk. Hey, ladies, do you wish you would have lied instead? Okay, guys, you watching this? Guys, if you tell the truth, you're a jerk. If you lie, you're a jerk. So if you're a guy, you're a jerk. Thank you. Do you get this? Now, girls in a room, guys always feel like they're the one that's at fault for everything. And we're not. Well, not most of the time we're not. So he's like, but we don't get it. You see this? How do I do this? Okay, now guys, hang on here. This gets really important. Guys, girls read underneath everything going on. They read between the lines, okay? For instance, when a guy says to a girl, I love you. Girls, as soon as a guy says that, what does every girl want to know next? Why? What do you want? What's in it for you? Is it me you love or something you think you're going to get from me that you love? And every girl wants to know. It's not what the guy said, it's why he said it. Do you get this? Guy and a girl were driving around my hometown, having a great time. Out of the blue, this girl says to her boyfriend, do you think I'm skinny? And the guy goes, what? Do you think I'm skinny? Oh, shoot. Man, sweat starts pouring down his face. No, do you think I'm skinny? I'm thinking. And after a few minutes, finally he goes, I think you're just right. Yeah. She goes, no, come on, tell me the truth. Do you think I'm skinny? Oh, okay, I think you're skinny. You lie. Hey, what do you want me to say? Well, tell me the truth. I did twice. You didn't like either answer I gave you. Yeah, but do you think I'm skinny? Maybe you're a little overweight. Oh, you think I'm fat? And at that point, most guys go, screw this. You're fat. Let's see. We'll just hang out with guys. You can say stuff like that to guys all day long. They don't get mad at you. You see this? Girls, it's the same thing. Guys don't get hints and they don't read minds. Have you ever heard this? Your mother should have told you. Guys don't get hints, but girls keep right on hinting it. Another couple, they were driving around my hometown, different couple. And when she got in, she was dead quiet for the first half hour. And he's just going along, and finally he recognizes, he goes, hey, are you mad at me? She goes, no. The guy goes, oh, good. Another 20 minutes, she's furious. You didn't even care if I was mad. What? I asked if you're mad. Yeah, but you knew I was mad. No. See, that's why I asked if you're mad. Do you get this? Girls are reading in between. Now, for you girls in the room, you're not believing me. Look at this. YM Magazine, his love letter dissected. Will they ever do this in Sports Illustrated? Not a chance. Look at this poor guy. He starts his letter. Hey, Emily. Little red arrow. Hey is good because it means he feels comfortable in the blah, 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 blah. Is there a PS in this guy's letter? No. No. Do you know why? Of course not. You're a guy. The poor guy didn't even write a PS, and they know why he didn't. Look. Why didn't he stick a PS saying he missed you? That may have been a bit too bold for him, but fear not, he completely misses you, and that's why he wrote. Look at this, decoding his postcards. Guys don't even write postcards. I don't know. Look at this one. Analyze his handwriting. Look at this. You'll know his personality by reading his butt. You think I'm joking? It's right there. I showed this particular thing in an assembly one time, and this girl wrote me a letter. She goes, how embarrassing. But she says, I have this laminated on my wall. It's like, what? Guys, watch this. You guys, I'm about to save you. Now, guys, I just want you for the next 5 minutes to not say anything at all. Just watch. Girls in a room. Magic wand. Bang! Every girl in this room now has a boyfriend. Very cool guy. He's very fun. Great sense of humor. He treats you really well. And he's a multi-millionaire. Sweet. Yeah. Now, he has so much money. it's important to him. It's just, that's not an issue for him at all. Now, girls, you can have one of these three things from your boyfriend. And you're going to have to choose which one of these three you want. So you're going to vote in a second. But girls, you're going to vote with your head down so you can't see what everybody else wants. Okay? So girls, don't talk to each other. Okay? I know it's difficult, but don't do it. Okay, girls, you can have one of these three things. You're going to vote in a second. A dozen long stem red roses, or 2 red ones and a white one, long stem, and they're roses, or 1 long stem red rose. So that's 12 or 3 or 1. Now, girls, there's no right or wrong answer to any of these. Shh. Don't talk to each other. Oh, I know, I think it's... Okay, girls, close your eyes. Now, I'm going to change the order that I gave into you, and I'm going to go real fast so you can't change your mind. Okay, girls, so make up your mind right now, 12 or 3 or 1. Doesn't matter which one it is, just you're going to vote. Okay, girls, here we go. Change the order. How many girls in this room want 3 roses? Raise your hand. 12, raise your hand. 1, raise your hand. Okay. Okay, now, everybody look up. Now, girls, vote again so you can all see what you said. How many said 12? Raise your hand. Come on. There's nothing wrong with this, girls. If you said 12, raise your hand. How many said 3? 1. Okay. Guys, 70 to 85% somewhere in there will, of all girls, junior high, high school, college, single, married adult, they'll say 1 red rose. Now, most of the guys knew that part. What you don't get is why. Now, guys in the room, you should take out a piece of paper and pencil because I'm about to save you thousands of dollars here. How many girls said 1 red rose? Okay, girls, talk to me. Now, you're going to have to raise your hand. Why? Why did you say 1? Yeah. It shows that you're the only one. Yeah. Okay, symbolic, is that the symbolism? Okay. Okay, girls, why else? Talk to me, talk to me. Yeah, way in the back. Why? What do you mean by that?
12 is just a whole bunch here.
So she's... What? By the way, she said, when I said, what do you mean? Talk to me about that. She says, well, it means. So it's meaningful. What else? Yeah. We have some very sick women here in this room. Go ahead.
Quantity versus quality.
What?
Quantity versus quality.
This is so funny. It's not the quantity, it's the quality. Now, if you went to a restaurant here in this area, and you went to this place, and you paid $50 for this steak, and when the waiter comes, it's a 1 cube square inch steak, and you go, hey, I paid $50 for you. It's not the quantity, lady, it's the quality. Would you ever eat there again? Then don't give me this thing about the roses, man. But she's right. That's what totally flips guys out. Look at the guys. What are we? I mean, we're like, girls, why else did you say 1? You're right. Talk to me, girls. Why? Yeah.
When you give like a dozen, it's like you're giving them just to give them. But when you give 1, it's special and it's showing how he feels about you. It's like I don't know.
What? She's right. Yeah, go ahead. Guys, underneath everything. It's not what he gave, but what it's underneath. You following this? Guys, here's the 5 words that girls will come up everywhere. And you girls are saying it. You're just not using the word. Here's the 5 things. It's thoughtful. It's meaningful. It's romantic. It's special, sweet, or personal. A couple of girls said that. And it's symbolic. Now, guys, those 5 things come up every single time I do this talk. Sentimental comes up quite a bit, but not near as much as these. Now, guys, you thought you bought her a flower. This doesn't have anything to do with flowers. You gave her this. There's a guy in my hometown, he's 15 years old, doesn't even have his driver's license, so he has to walk to his girlfriend's house. On the way walking, starts picking the weeds. Serious. By the time he gets a big pile of weeds in his hand, knocks on her door, and she came to the door and she saw the weeds. She was so excited for those, she jumped out of the door, tackled the guy to the ground, kissing him and hugging him, smashed the weeds all over him. The guy was so confused, he wrote me a letter, and this is what his letter said. I'm just going to give her stupid stuff from now on. Why did she like the weeds? Girls, why'd she like the weeds? They're weeds! What? For every weed he picked, he thought of me. Guys, which costs more, a dozen roses or weeds? I just saved you thousands of dollars. There's another kid, he's 15, he has to walk to his girlfriend's house, he has to walk by the cemetery, so he just picks all the flowers off the cemetery. Hey, what's wrong with that? In fact, some of the guys are sitting here, that's a good idea, man. I never thought of that. Did you see that? In fact, there's an adult woman, we did a parent night one night, and this woman, she came up after, and I have since found out, this is an absolutely true story. Her husband came home one night, opened the trunk of his car, and it was filled full of gorgeous flowers. Took him 5 armloads to get all these flowers in the house. It blew her away. Following night, he comes home, opens the trunk, and it's almost full of long stem red roses. Now, guys in the room, you guys that have ever bought flowers for your girlfriend or roses, you know what that would cost? That's $3,000 or $4,000. Easy. That went on for almost 2 full weeks until she found out where he got them, the mortuary. Look at the guys. All right, man. Do you get this? Worst date. Worst date, guys, go on. Worst date. Oh, by the way, girls, let me come back to this. You know what the guys are sitting here thinking? They're listening to this. You know what they're thinking? They're going, oh, wait a minute. If 1 flower equals all of this, well, then 12 times that equals anything I want. If Tim Allen, remember Home Improvement? See, I wish it was still on. Tim Allen, if he came home and gave Jill a dozen red roses, he'd get 1 of 2 responses from Jill. What did you do? Or what did you, or what do you want? It's not what he gave her, it's why. It's what's underneath everything. Worst date that girls go on. Worst date. Thinking about this? Worst date. Guy comes to the door. She goes, hi, what are we going to do? I don't know. What do you want to do? Why do girls hate that? What? Yeah, he hasn't thought. Has he been thinking about you girls? Is this going to be a meaningful evening? Romantic? Special? Symbolic? Sort of. For all the wrong reasons. But what about this guy? This guy comes to the door. She goes, hi, what are we going to do? He goes, I can't tell you, but you need to wear something warm. We'll be back by 11:30, and we really got to hurry. Would you go? Why? He's going fishing. Hey, girls, would you go? Yeah! They'd even go stinking fishing with a guy if he'd thought about it. So let's say a guy literally takes a girl fishing. They're in a fishing boat. She's got her little pole. And she looks up, wait. That's your pole. This one's mine. Whose is that third one? And the guy goes, I don't know. Let's take a look. And up out of the water comes a bottle of sparkling cider and 2 wine glasses. Hey, girls, would she ever forget that date? Would she tell every girl in school he did it? Yeah, hey, guys, how much did that date cost him? $1.98. Because that's what you can buy sparkling cider for. Now watch how fast the identical date, but it changes just a little bit because it's not what he gives her, but why. Same date. She goes, that's your pole, this one's mine. Whose is that third pole? The guy goes, I don't know, let's look. Up out of the water comes a 6-pack of Bud Light. Now what's the girl thinking? Yeah. Soon as the beer, the drugs, the wine, all the junk comes out, every girl in this room, not 98%, every girl goes, I know what you're giving me. I wonder why. Is it me you love or something you think you're going to get when you get me drunk that you love? And every girl wants to know it. Soon as, well, in fact, look at this. Look at this. Where's this guy? This is a high school guy. I'll tell you honestly that I'm a virgin, but I also love women with a passion. Probably wouldn't mind losing it. Why do we call it that? It's kind of, what did I do with that thing? Anyway, losing it? Anyway, then he goes on. Anyway, the last couple of weeks I've gone out and gotten drunk with this girl I like, and by the end of the night, we're all over each other. Parentheses. I know you don't condone drinking, but it's a part of my life on the weekend. Anyway, I feel horrible because I think she feels like I'm taking advantage of her, but I'm not. I feel like I've ruined any possibilities of a relationship because of this. What should I do? I like taking her out sober, but I don't know if she'll respond the way I want, and I'm too chicken to ask. Do you get this? See that? He didn't know what to do. He wants her, but the only way he knows how to get drunk. Girls, 80% of all the girls in high school who get pregnant, alcohol's involved. So why do girls drink it? Do you get this? By the way, guys in this room, any guy in this room that understands this, mainly this part right here, you understand that, you can win the heart of almost any girl, because girls want to find a guy that understands it. Cool. Oh, man. I do a 2-hour thing. Sometime we're going to video this part. But I do a 2-hour thing with just guys, teaching them how to do creative dates. Just how do you do something that a girl would really want to go on? For instance, let me give you a couple of, for instance. This one guy, he dated this girlfriend, or he had a girlfriend for about 6 months, and he wanted to ask her out, but he wanted to do it in a really cool way. So we got a handheld tape recorder, and just kind of something like this. And he put a 15-minute lead on it, so it's actually playing, but there's no sound on it. At the 15-minute mark, he puts the Mission Impossible theme. Da-da-da-da-da-dum-dum, da-da-da-da-dum-dum. And then he goes, this is Brad Henning, and if you'd like to go out Friday night, blah, blah, blah. And then at the very end, this tape will self-destruct. You know how they always do that in that movie? They run it all the way back to the very beginning of the tape, took it to his girlfriend's first period class at school, duct taped it underneath her seat, started it, told the math teacher 15 minutes into math, da-da-da-da-da-dum-dum, da-da-da-da-da-dum-dum. Did you get that? How much did it cost him to do that? Nothing. He borrowed a tape. You see that? But would the girl ever forget it? No. Would she tell all the girls in school he did it? Oh, yeah. Another guy, he took his girlfriend. By the way, these are on my website, a couple of these. This guy took his girlfriend. It was a summertime, summer evening, and he says, hey, you want to go for a walk? She goes, yeah, I guess. So they walked down kind of a place in town. It's this real rural area. Walked by this little store that had an outdoor phone booth, and they were walking right by it, and the phone rang right when they were next to it. And the guy goes, hey, that phone's ringing. And she goes, yeah. He goes, well, answer it. She goes, okay. So she runs over, answers, hello, and she turned around, and there's her boyfriend just standing like this, not doing anything. On the phone is her boyfriend on a tape recording that he had previously taped, this beautiful song that was their favorite song together, and he just wrote a little poem saying how much he loved his girlfriend. So somewhere out there is a guy on a cell phone that they'd planned this whole thing. Did you get this? How much did that cost him? Nothing. You guys, if you're going to do something, fun for a girl, do something fun for a girl. Look at this. Look at this. Do you know what? Now, I know this doesn't look right, but okay. But what you want to do, if you're going to toilet paper a girlfriend's house, man, you got to kind of, you got to do something a little bit creative, see? So here we go. What do you think? Huh? Look at this sucker. Man, if you get a gas one, you can toilet paper a house, you don't even have to get out of the car. It's the most fun thing you'll ever do. Coolest date I ever heard a guy do, coolest date. This guy told his girlfriend, it was a Sunday afternoon, summer, sun setting, and he goes, hey, you wanna go for a rowboat ride? She goes, yeah. And he goes, I know where we can get a rowboat. So they jumped in the car, drove to this lake, get in this rowboat, and he's rowing out in the middle of the lake. Right in the middle of the lake, he stops rowing, and about 20 feet away is a guy in a scuba outfit starts swimming towards the boat. And the girl's, gets right up to the boat, and out of the water he pulls a tray with a bottle of sparkling cider and hands it to the guy in the boat. Guy goes, "Thank you." Guy, like this happens every day. The guy in the water backs up, totally disappears. He pulls out 2 wine glasses that he'd hidden, and then he just starts rowing again. What's the girl doing? The same thing that all the girls are doing right now. Hey, girls, would she ever forget the date? Would she tell every girl in school he did it? Hey, guys, how much did the date cost him? And there's always some guy, what about the scuba guy? That guy would do it for anybody in the room, but nobody ever asks. By the way, guys, if you go out and try and duplicate any of the dates I just gave you, it isn't going to count. One school, this is one of the funniest things I ever saw happen while I'm doing this talk. I went to one school. It was all freshmen. It was like 400 freshmen. And I happened to tell the story about the scuba guy. I told the whole story. Following year, I came back and did the new freshman class. But what I didn't know is one guy from the freshman class last year, who's a sophomore now, he snuck into the assembly, and he sat in the 3rd row, right smack in the middle. He wanted to hear the whole talk again. So I started telling, some of this kind of stuff. And he goes, I said, coolest date in the whole world. The scuba guy, and he's, and it's 400 kids sitting there, and I couldn't just stop. And so I keep going. He goes, and I didn't know what. So finally, I just finished the story, and he goes, oh man. 10 seats down was a freshman girl. The longer I told the story, she'd gone. The guy had repeated the date. You know why it didn't work? Because he wasn't the one who was thinking about her. He got it from somebody else. And doesn't count. Do you get this, guys? Girls are reading underneath because it's important to them. For a guy not to understand that, and you say, hey, well, if she doesn't like it, tough darts, you just blew it. So my question is, if girls are so smart then, why do they drink the beer? Well, if they're so smart and all this stuff, how come they're behaving the way they are? And here's why. Number 3 difference. Guys value freedom. Girls value security. Freedom and security. You ever go to a guy's bachelor party? Guy's going to get married? There's a joke that goes on at almost every guy's bachelor party. They're trying to talk him out of it. Hey man, ball and chain man. Do girls like to be known as a ball and chain to a guy? Not really. Ball and chain man, no more poker parties, hunting, sports. She never go. The guy feels like his life's coming to an end. You ever go to a girl's shower? I had 2 older sisters, man. I watched this. You know what they do at girls' showers? Jeez. Oh, and they hug each other. I wish it was me. And they hold up all the stuff they get. They even keep track who gave everything so they can send little thank you cards. Do guys send little thank you cards? Thanks for the hot dog, man. Appreciate the hot dog. So, at the wedding, her life's going to begin, his is going to end, and they're going to live happily ever after. Not a chance. And by the way, if you don't believe that, these are girls' magazines compared to guys. Bride, Bridal Fair, Bride Book, Brides, Modern Bride, Seattle Bride, Bride Guides, Weddings, Wedding Planner. Name me one groom book. Most guys, Playboy, Penthouse, Hustler, Sports Illustrated, Maxim. It's like, there is no such thing. Look at this. Look at this. You won't believe this. This is the world's largest magazine. 1,270 pages. It weighs 4.8 pounds. It is, look at the dress after dress after dress after dress. It's like, what? Do guys get into this? Not a chance. Do you get this? Look, guys, if guys could have their ultimate dream. Now, guys in the room, I'm a guy saying this, so this is going to make us look really awful for a minute, but hang on. If guys in this room could have what I think is guys' quote, ultimate dream, nobody get mad at you, God won't kill you, your parents won't know or care. If you guys could have your ultimate dream, you know what most guys in this room would say if they were honest? It'd be something about like this. Ultimate I want access to as many gorgeous girls as I can, and none of them reject me. So many women, so little time. Now, girls, it's not necessarily that guys are going to slam all these girls in bed. I'm not saying that. Some guys will. But guys want access to all the gorgeous girls, but they don't want to get rejected by them. Girls in this room, the number one scariest thing in the whole world for a guy. There is nothing in the world scarier for a guy than for a guy to take the chance of being rejected by a girl he thinks is beautiful. The more gorgeous she is in his eyes. Now, girls, do you girls know that guys, no. If I took any 5 guys in this room, stood you up here, and had all the girls in the room walk by, do you know these 5 guys would never agree with what's good looking and what isn't? They don't. Man, one guy goes, "Golf, she's gorgeous." And the other guy's, "Are you blind? Man, you need glasses really bad." I mean, guys, and by the way, you don't believe that? Go to the mall and just sit down and watch the married couples go by. Would you have picked that person? Like, that's the ugliest woman I've ever seen. And that guy's madly in love with her. See, he just thinks she's the most gorgeous thing. Every guy has a different view. But girls, the more gorgeous a girl is in a guy's eyes, the more chance of being rejected, the less chance he'll take. That's why the most gorgeous girl in any school, there's always 4 or 5 girls that are gorgeous and everybody knows it. But the most gorgeous girls in any one school will get the fewest dates with the kind of guys she really wants to date. Do you know that? Do you know why? Because the good guys, the guys that aren't trying to rip her off, they all stand around. You ask her out. I ain't ask her out. Well, you ask her out. No, she made me look stupid. That girl goes home, she stands in the mirror and she says, and she looks and says, "Everybody says I'm pretty, but nobody will ask me out." Do you know how many letters I have that girls say that? Everybody says I'm pretty, but nobody will ask me out. So that girl stands in the mirror and she looks, okay, tighter clothes, wilder hair. She comes to school. Then the good guys, they're all going, "Oh, you ask her out." I ain't ask her out. Well, you ask. No, she made me look stupid. That girl goes home, she goes, "That's it." Low cut, pulls her dress up, comes to school. You girls think we don't know what you're doing when you do that? Then the good guys, they're all going, "Oh, you ask her out." I ain't ask her. And so they're scared to death to be rejected by the girl. But then the guys that could care less, they just want to take advantage of what they want, they all ask her out. And now the girl's desperate. So she says, yeah. The guy takes advantage of her. He dumps her the next day. Girl gets the reputation of he's the, game's up. And she didn't even see it coming. You think this doesn't happen? Oh gosh, look at this. This is just one magazine cover. This is Cosmo. This is not Cosmopolitan, but Cosmo Girl. This is the front cover of one magazine. Now you got to check this out. She's gorgeous, and, she's looking beautiful. What girl in the room doesn't want to look like that? Come on, man. If you look like that, you could get any guy you wanted. No, you can't. That's the back cover. Now you got to look real close. She's hanging up the phone over here. Tears are running down her cheeks. She's obviously just broken up with her boyfriend, but dang if she doesn't look good. Now, why would Calvin Klein put an ad like that on the back cover of a magazine? Here's why. It's really easy. Girls, if we can hook you girls into wanting to look like this, we can sell you any of our dang junk. Because every girl wants to look like this. But girls, why would a guy want to date this girl? Because she's got a great personality? Boy, can she cook and sew. Say, no, she's got a body and she's gorgeous. So who is going to ask this girl out? A guy that wants something. If a guy takes her out and takes advantage of this girl sexually, can the guy stay with her the next day? No, because she would find out what a jerk he is. So he has to dump her. She becomes the slut, he's the stud, and the game's up. And Calvin Klein's figured it out. So here's the way it goes. We'll get you girls to be hooked on looking like this, because you'll definitely get the attention of the boys. When it all falls apart, we'll be there to pick up the pieces, and we'll sell you our dang junk on this side. So at least you look good when it falls apart. And girls don't get it. If girls in this room could have their ultimate dream, you know what most girls would say? Oh, by the way, why is pornography aimed 100% at guys? It is, fact, here, try this. Girls, name me one pornographic magazine for girls. Girls. Playgirl. It's the only magazine that anybody ever comes up with. But do you know that half of everybody that gets that magazine are guys? Uh-huh. Pornography is almost unheard of for girls. But I'll bet you the guys in this room, if I gave you 60 seconds, I'll bet you could name 20, 30, 40 magazines for guys. Yeah, just boom, bam. Because, you see them all the time. Pornography is aimed almost 100% at guys. Why? Because it's all these gorgeous girls, but none of them will reject him. He didn't look at the center of a Playboy magazine and the girl goes, "Hey, shut that." Sorry, I didn't mean to peek. I mean, he doesn't get rejected. Guys are scared to death to be. Most of the guys in this room have never asked a girl out. Ever. You know why? Because you're scared to death. Because what if I ask her out and she makes me look like a fool? So he won't take the chance. I don't need those girls anyway. They're a bunch of jerks. See that? But if girls in this room could have your ultimate dream, most girls. Now, are all girls like this? But most girls will go just like this. Ultimate dream? Easy. I just want to find me one guy, just one, that understands me. He'll treat me right. He'll take care of me. But they're all a bunch of jerks. I'm never going to find me a guy. Look, they're all morons. That girls, somewhere around the 7th and the 8th grade, girls, think back, 7th and 8th grade, you were going from a little girl into a full-fledged woman. I mean, your body's changing and filling out and everything. So between the 7th and 8th grade, you girls are turning into a real woman. You come to school and, gosh, you feel so excited. Same age guys are a year and a half to 2 years behind you. Physically, maturity. So you girls, you come and say, same age guys are standing in the corner, picking their nose and farting. And you girls started looking at that and say, man, if that's all I got to pick from, look, they're all morons. I'm never going to find me a guy. So between the 7th and the 8th grade, most of the girls in this room, believe this or not, you started on a manhunt. And the manhunt doesn't end till the day you're married. And if you don't believe that, go to any college campus and talk to the girls about their, quote, biological clocks. I said that last year in a high school assembly, and this guy yelled, "What's a biological clock?" I mean, he didn't have any clue for what that was. And here's the way the manhunt goes. I'm going to find me a guy closest to my dream. Now, I'm never going to get a guy that's exactly what I want, because look, they're all goofballs. But I'm going to find me a guy closest to my dream. I'll do anything I have to get him. And once I get him, I'll fix him. Does that work? Because what's the guy's next move? Girl gets dumped, she's a slut, he's the stud, and the game's up. She didn't even see it coming. Do you see how this works? Look at this. Your magazines are jammed with this. Look at this. In fact, girls' magazines have the C word. What's the C word? Commitment. You'll never see that in a guy's magazine. How do you get a girl to commit? Look at now. You got to check this out. Make him commit 100%. Not hope he does. Gosh, it'd be really neat. Make the sucker. We're going to make this sucker commit 100%. How's she going to make him commit? By wearing that. I'll do anything I have to get him to commit. And once I get him, then I'm going to fix him. Hey, girls, does that work? Let me prove that. Any girl know who this girl is? It's Elizabeth Hurley. Anybody know who she lived with for almost 13 years? Hugh Grant. Anybody know what Hugh Grant got arrested for while they were living together? Being with a prostitute. Now, guys in the room, I got a question for you. Hey, guys, if you could have a girl that looked like that, would you dump her for a prostitute? Oh, yeah, you would. And I'll prove that. Here's how I'll prove it. There won't be a guy in this room that's going to disagree with this statement. If a girl's easy to get to bed, she isn't worth keeping. Even Hugh Grant knows that. Do you get this? Girls, I don't care how sexy you are, voluptuous, gorgeous, low-cut, anything. You will not keep a guy by doing that. And everybody knows it. This guy wrote me this letter, high school guy. Thanks for coming to our class. I had a really good time and learned a lot about how girls work. Well, he's working on a system. When you were telling how girls are very personal, I could look back on past relationships, see that characteristic in every girl. I don't like that too much because they always want an explanation for everything you do. Why? Then he says this, I don't care that you pretend your speech wasn't a system on how to get girls. All that matters is I got the information to get in every girl's pants this summer I want. Sex before marriage is good for the guy because, hey, you don't buy a car without test driving it. But girls who get driven a lot are worth less. So buy a car that's new and never been tested out. It's kind of frightening to see it in writing. Now, are all guys like this? No, we're not. But guys, girls don't know the good guys from the bad guys. They don't know who's who. Now, how do you know when somebody really loves you or not? I want to give you this definition of love. But the way I want to do it is I want to tell you first off, what love is not. And then I'm going to tell you what love is. This is what love is not. Number one, love is not a feeling. Did you know that? Love is not a feeling. But listen to this girl's letter. Listen to this girl. I learned a lot from you over the 2 days that you were here. I can't agree with you on everything you discussed, but I do think love is a feeling. If love wasn't a feeling or emotion, what would you feel? How would I know if I was in love if I couldn't feel it? Because I have a boyfriend and we've been going out for 2 months and I love him. So if you're saying love is not a feeling, what am I feeling? What's she feeling? Feelings. She's feeling feelings. Now you guys, is there anything wrong with feelings? Oh no, they're really important. If you guys, how do I say it? If you guys don't have feelings for your boyfriend or girlfriend, man, something's wrong. They really are. But feelings come and go. Love and feelings aren't the same. Here's why I know that. Now, I'm just joking when I say it. Last night, let's say I went to bed with my wife, and she looked really good, this morning I woke up, man, her hair's all screwed off to one side, no makeup on, she'd been drooling all night. She rolls over and goes, hi, and So, if love's a feeling, that means last night I was in love, man, but that's disgusting. So I kicked her out, and I'm looking for somebody new. Now, how would you argue that with me? If love's a feeling, and I don't have any feelings for this thing in my bed, don't you tell me I'm in love. See? Now here's the problem with this feeling. How many of you in this room are in control of your feelings? None of you. Anybody here wake up on the wrong side of the bed this morning? Why am I not surprised? You know what I mean by that? For no reason you wake up and you're ticked at everybody. Shut up! Get out of the bathroom, I'll kill you. Then your mother. It's always your mother. She comes in and goes, snap out of that. Does that help? You look at your mom and go, Mom, you saved my life. If you hadn't have said snap out of it, I would have had a crummy day. See, are you in control of your feelings? No. Girls in this room. Now, girls, don't get mad at me. Guys, I can say this because I'm going to leave. This is over. But girls, are you always in control of what you feel? All month long. Yeah, don't you even try to throw that back in my face either. If love was a feeling, and it's not, but if love was a feeling, some of you girls in this room would fall out of love every 28 days. It would be awful if love was a feeling. But it isn't. Love is not a feeling. It's not an emotion. It's not a ditch. That's with a D. One guy goes, what did he say? Love is not a ditch. You ever seen people walking down to school, the hallway, kind of, boom, what happened? I fell in love. Love is not a hole. There's no such thing as falling in love. You guys, if you could fall in love, you could fall in friendship. Can you imagine running home to your mom? I fell in friendship! She's back. I mean, people would think you're nuts. See? But all the movies, everybody says you can fall in love. There is no such thing as falling in love. By the way, if you could fall in love, you could fall out. Can you imagine marrying somebody that you, quote, fell in love with? And man, 2 weeks after you got married, they wake up in the morning, I fell out. How would you argue that? You couldn't. You get that? There's no such thing as falling in love. Love is not a feeling, it's not an emotion, you can't fall in it, and it's not sex either. But look at this, man. All the movies, all the magazines, all the movies say it is. Love and sex, man, it is always together. But is it? Can you love somebody and not have sex with them? Yeah, I have a daughter and a son. I have a dog. That's disgusting, man. By the way, can you have sex with something and not love them? Oh yeah, prostitutes do it all the time. Do prostitutes love the people they go to bed with? Huh, they hate them. By the way, guys, I got this. I cut this out of this magazine. This is the funniest thing I ever said. Do you guys know you have a secret world? They took 5 guys and they asked them page after page, a whole bunch of pages of all these questions. Question number 6. Do you have to be in love with a girl before you start fooling around with her? All 5 guys. Nope. What? So, if love's not a feeling, it's not an emotion, you can't fall in it, it's not sex, what on earth is it? And here it is. Now let me explain it once I get it up there. Love is choosing the highest or ultimate good for the other person. Love is always a choice. You cannot blackmail people into loving you. Hey man, if you love me, you'd prove it right here in the back seat of my car. That's blackmail. By the way, girls, anytime a guy ever says that to a girl, as soon as he says it, now you know he doesn't love you. Because what he really means by that is, if you won't do what I want, when I want it, and where I want it, which is in the back seat of my car, then I won't love you. That's blackmail. By the way, you know how girls blackmail guys? I hear this all the time. You break up with me, I'll slit my wrist. And guys always go, I'll miss you. See? By the way, ultimate blackmail, and I'm hearing this all the time. There's a girl wrote me a letter. She was on the phone breaking up with her boyfriend, and the guy goes, if you break up with me, I'll kill myself right now. And she goes, you won't either. And he did it. Right then, shot himself in the head. I talked to another girl. I was in California and did an assembly, and I told that story, and a teacher at the end of the assembly came running up. She goes, I just got out of class talking to a girl that was absolutely beside herself because her boyfriend hung himself while they were talking on the phone. I've told those stories back. At the end of the last school year, I was up in Seattle. I have to be careful what I say here, but we did an evening presentation with some of the students sitting in the front, and some of the parents were kind of sitting in the back rows. And I told the stories that somebody that commits suicide like that, they're trying to blackmail people into loving you. And I was telling the story, and here's a girl sitting in the very front, and her parents were in the back listening to the whole thing. What we found out later is her brother, who had just had his girlfriend break up with him, was less than 100 yards out the far window, hanging himself at the time. And I've heard so many stories, some of it would scare the stew out of you. But you guys, anybody in this room, if you have a boyfriend or girlfriend that's threatening suicide, you have to take that serious. But now you know it's not love. You cannot blackmail people into loving you. You can't. Love is always for the very, very best. Let's say you're all going to get married in 10 minutes. So welcome to our chapel, okay? Girls, you're in your white dress. Guys, you're in your tuxedo. Let's say candles are lit, music playing. Girls, let's say that the guy sneaks up behind his bride, pulls her aside, and says this, you know, I love you so much. I just wanted to tell you one last time how much I love you. And I love you so much. In 10 minutes from now, I'm going to commit the rest of my life, 6 nights of every week, just to you. What would you want to know? Yeah, what's he going to do on the 7th night? What if he says this? Well, there's some other girls I really like, and I want to spend 1 night a week overnight alone with them, but they don't mean near as much as you mean to me. Would you marry that person? Why not? 6 out of 7 ain't bad. That is very close. Would you marry that person? Then why are you guys putting up with it in high school and you're calling it love? Now here's the killer. If you guys weren't sitting here and all your parents were here instead of you, this is the very next question I'd ask. Hey, you parents, do you think high school kids can genuinely, for the real thing, love each other? What will they say? Yeah, they always say, no, and I totally disagree with that. I worked with students your age for over 30-some years, and I've seen it. I've seen junior high kids that, for the real thing, loved each other. Are you guys capable of that? Yeah, you are, but do you? Are you ready to get married? Oh, heck no. You're not even close to that. But can you choose the very highest good for somebody you don't even know to the best of your ability? Yeah, you can. But do you? You see that? If I was your parents, I would demand that you love the person before you ever went out with them the first time. I'd ask you, are you going to choose the very best for the person you're about to date tonight? If you're not willing to do that, you have no business going out. But there are students right here in this room. You're very capable of genuine, for the real thing love. See, love is always focused on the other person. Girls, when a guy says I love you, what do you want to know next? Yeah, why? Is it me you love or something you think you're going to get from me? By the way, girls, when you tell a high school guy I love you, you know what happens in most high school guys' minds? As soon as you say I love you, most high school guys don't think about the sex thing, but the very next thing that comes to their mind is, yeah, wait a minute. Is it me you love or you just want transportation? By the way, a little while ago, I gave you the illustration, hey girls, you got a really cool boyfriend that's filthy rich. Remember I gave you that and the roses and all that? When I said filthy rich, I looked around and I saw all these girls going, oh yeah. I wonder what it's like to be a guy sitting listening to that. Girls, I wonder what it's like for you, for a guy, to look at your magazines and see articles like this. How to snare the millionaire if you dare. You know most of your dads in the last 6 months, have deeply wondered if they just took their wallet and checkbook and threw it on the dresser and disappeared, would anybody even care or notice that they're gone? That's what dads go through. Girls, the guys in this room want to know, is it me you love or is it what you think my potential is? You know the number one thing that girls will look for in a guy? The number one, and all kinds of studies and surveys have been done, a guy's financial potential. Anybody see the show on TV, Who Wants to Marry a Multimillionaire? Do you remember that? It was a couple of years ago. This guy, he's a supposedly multimillionaire. And they had him on the show, and nobody knew who he was. They'd never seen him. They don't know anything about him other than the fact that he's a multimillionaire. And all these women, several thousand women called up to be on the show and were willing to marry this guy, sight unseen, if he was to pick them. And literally, they got right down, they took 50, then 10, and they finally got down to the last 5 women who stood on the platform all in wedding gowns, while the guy was behind a curtain kind of wanting to pick what. Boy, you talk about a guy's ultimate dream. I want access to all the gorgeous women. By the way, guys, you know how you can have access to the gorgeous women? Be a multimillionaire. Guys, you ever seen an average-looking girl in a Lamborghini or Porsche? Ever? Because all the wealthy guys get those girls. Do you get it? Do you see what guys... Girls don't understand why guys just can't understand it, but girls don't understand guys either. So here's the killer. If I could take that word out of your vocabulary so you could never, ever tell your boyfriend or girlfriend ever again, I love you. They can't tell you, you can't tell them, none of that. Now how would you know if they really did love you? They can't say so how would you know? By their actions. I don't give a rip what people say. I want to know what their life proves. Look at this. Tacoma man arrested after shooting death of his girlfriend. Guy and girl dated for a while. Finally one night she goes, you know, I really love you, but you're the only guy I've ever dated. I just want to meet some other guys. He got so mad he loaded a .45, I think it was, put it right at her head and said, if you won't love just me, I'll kill you. And she, what you going to say? Oh, I love you. But I just want to meet some other guys. And he blew her head off. Now, if we could somehow have an interview with this guy in prison, and we ask him, hey, I mean, you killed your girlfriend. Did you really love her? What would he say? Oh, yeah, in tears, emotion. Oh, I loved her so much. I just couldn't stand the thoughts of her being in some other guy's arms but mine. So I blew her head off. Now, did he have feelings and emotions for the girl? Oh, yeah. But did he choose the highest good for her? No. Look at this one. This one, you won't believe this one. O.J. Simpson says that if he killed his wife, quote, it would have been because I loved her. They actually went back and, O.J., did you really say that? And he goes, yeah, what's wrong with that? By the way, girls, he's still single. Any girl want to date him and marry him? Got lots of money. You'd have to be crazy. You see that? Girls in the room. You want to know if your boyfriend loves you? Here it comes. It doesn't get easier than this. Girls, Here's all you have to do. You find 5 girls in this room or in your school that you know you can really trust. Now, this can't be, you can't just pick any 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's got to be 5 girls you know will tell you the truth. And this is all you have to say to those 5 girls. Hey, you 5 girls, I don't care what you've ever heard my boyfriend say to me or about me. I don't care about that. But by the way, my boyfriend treats me. Do you 5 girls think he loves me? You'll know right now whether he does or doesn't. Try me. Guys in the room, you want to know if your girlfriend loves you? You may have to find 5 girls that you can really trust. See, now we go to each other, but yeah, she's so good looking. I don't care how good looking she is. I want to know how she treats you. There are guys in this room that are dating girls that treat you like trash, but you put up with it because she's cute. What a dumb reason to date a girl. See that? Now you guys in this room, you'll know right now if your boyfriend or girlfriend loves you. Let me tell you one last story, then we've got to talk about sex. Wait. I was in college. This is happened to be in Seattle. I went to 4 or 5 different schools, but when I was dating this girl, we dated something like 6 months or so, and I actually thought that this is a girl I was going to marry. I mean, she was cute, she was smart, our backgrounds were real similar. We just really hit it off. Dated for 6 months, and then all of a sudden we went through finals together. Now you guys know what it's like to go through finals. You know how intense you get. The Wassel tests and all that kind of stuff. Don't even bring it up. But anyway, so we started studying for these finals. Wow, man, she got so intense. She just got, I mean, all of a sudden, I guess I said something to her, and she turned to me and just reamed me. And I go, wait, what? What's wrong with you? What? She goes, well, what do you mean? So what? I mean, you just hammered me. What? 5 minutes later, she did it again, second time. She just clobbered me. I go, hey, what's your deal? All the way through finals. You'd call her on the phone. When people call you on the phone, how do you answer the phone? Hello? You know how she'd answer it? What? Whoa, who stole your Prozac? I just couldn't believe it. So all the way through finals, it's just this awful thing. So, but then I got to thinking, I thought I really loved that girl. I thought I'd marry her. But here's the killer. If I love this girl enough to choose the very best for her, what if I do that and she dumps me anyway? But if I'm not willing to take the chance of loving her to the best, now, no, you guys, what if I say something to try and help her? I mean, people didn't even like her because of the way she treated him during that couple of weeks. But if I'm not willing to say anything about it, I know I'm not choosing the best for her. You see where my dilemma is? So, man, I was sweating blood, man. I went and talked to some people. I said, okay, what do I say? What do I do? And so I went to her. After finals was over, everything was back to normal. I said, hey, my knees are shaking. Met in the library. Can I tell you what I'm thinking? And I told her. She got so mad at me. I can still see this in slow motion. She stood up, slammed her books together, put her coat on, and as she's walking out the library door, last thing she said to me is, I don't know who you think you are, but I don't need this crap from you. And that was the end of one of the coolest girls I ever dated. And here's the point. If you tell me as high school students that you really love each other, you don't have a problem with me, because I've seen it. I know you're capable of it. But do you love them so much so that you would be willing to choose the very best for them, even at the risk of losing them? You'd be willing to do it. And if you're not willing to do that, you don't love them. See it? The end of that story with that girl, oh man, I don't know how long it was, but all of a sudden I got a letter in the mailbox, at school, and she goes, I want to talk to you again about it. And my only thought was, she's going to bring a gun. I mean, she was really mad. And so, man, I said, okay, let's meet in the library. I figured if I was going to get shot, at least somebody would see it that way. So I'm in the library, kind of sitting around waiting for this girl, and I turn around, and there she's standing, pointing at me. I mean, just right there. It's a gun. No, it's her finger. So I go, what? And she goes, tears are running down her. You know how you can tell somebody's been crying for a long time? And her face is all splotchy. That was her. She goes, you're the only guy in my whole life that's ever told me the truth. And I go, what? She goes, I've had lots of boyfriends, but I've never had a guy ever love me enough to tell me the truth. And she burst into tears, and I didn't know what to do, man. She's sobbing in the library. I mean, people are coming all over the library. They think some guy's beating some girl up. So I didn't know what to do. She's sobbing, so finally I just grabbed her and held her on my lap. And I've held her for 31 years. That's my wife. And you guys in this room, you don't know anybody that's got a better marriage than mine. You don't. If this was during the summertime, in the time that we would have allotted, or during the school year, I'd have the first 8 to 10 kids in this room who are willing to sign up on a sheet. You come down to my house, my wife and I will cook you dinner, and I want you to spend the evening with us just to be there, just to see what it's like to be with somebody that really loves the other person. You don't know anybody that's got a better marriage than mine. Now, my question is to you. You say you love each other, fine, but are you willing to choose the very best for them, even at the risk of losing them? Yes or no? Now I want to add sex to this. Okay. Look at all the guys perk up. Did you see that? Okay. One of the years I went to college, they asked for 50 guys to show up for a psychological experiment. They're going to play with these boys' minds. They had no idea what was going to happen. They just said, show up. Paid each guy $25. So here's all the 50 guys hanging out here. They had a room with no outside light in it, so when the light was off, it was totally dark, and then they filled this room up with living room furniture. So they got, rugs and sofas and lampstands and pictures and plants, and sitting on a chair into the corner was this gorgeous blonde girl in a long dark skirt and a white blouse. She was gorgeous. I met her 2 years after this happened. She was the one who told me all of this happened. So she's sitting on the chair facing into the corner. Here's the door to the room, foyer, door, 50 guys. Now here's what they did. They randomly picked one guy. Didn't matter who he was, just picked him, walked him in, opened the door, flipped on the light for exactly 10 seconds, flipped the light off, walked the guy out, handed him a clipboard, and told the guy, list everything you saw in the room. Now they gave him all the time he wanted. So he goes, well, there's a girl. There's a chair, rug, table, lamp, picture, blah, 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 blah. And he could get almost everything in the room. That was guy number 1. Guy number 2, they picked him, walked him in, opened the door, flipped on the light for 10 seconds, flipped the light off, handed him a clipboard. The only difference between the second guy and the first guy is that girl raised her skirt just a little. Then the next guy, she raised it some more. And the next, and the next, and the next, for 49 guys. She keeps raising her skirt. Well, by guy number 50, she didn't have anything on at all, from the waist down. She's totally naked, sitting on the chair, facing into the corner. Guy number 50, he comes walking in. They flip on the light for 10 seconds. Walked him out. List everything you saw in the room. There's a girl. Was there anything else? No. She didn't have anything on, man. See? So here's the point. The more sex that enters the room, the less observant the guy gets. The more sex that enters the room, the less of anything else in the room the guy will see. Now, let me explain a little bit. If I had right now a gorgeous girl, I mean unbelievable figure, come walking in that door, walk through the room in a itty-bitty thong bikini. Look at that, down, Richard, down there. Just kind of walking through, and disappear out the far door. What would the guys in this room do while she's walking through here? Cheer. And there'd be guys standing on the woo! Throwing stuff. Hats would be flying. Guys would go, oh yeah, kind of chase her out, trying to get phone her. This place would go wild. Now, if I had a guy in one of those Speedo, whatever things, they go, time out. You just suckered for my experiment. And it works. Every time I do this, any of you guys that have heard my talk before, you're seeing it again. You just told me the difference between the way men look at sex and the way women do, and it is totally the opposite. Here's the two stories I told you. Girl in a bikini walking through, and I'm watching all the guys, especially Richard. Just kind of, yeah, man. But when I said the guy in the Speedo, you heard it all over the place. Yeah, girls go, that's gross. That's disgusting. That's the most disgusting thing. But you'll never see there won't be one guy in the room that looks at the girl in the bikini. That's the most disgusting thing I've seen all day. That is gross right there. See that? We're totally different. Look at this. This is a graph. Where is happening to my chalk? What? Okay. Graph. At what age do they say guys sexually peak? 18. I had a girl say 4. 16 to 19. Guys' bodies are at their peak condition for fathering a kid at 16 to 19. Hey girls, welcome to high school. Guys' bodies are at their peak condition for fathering a kid in high school. When do they say women sexually peak? 34 to 37. Look at some of the adult men in the background. All right. Good times are coming here. See? By the way, I've had lots and lots of doctors sit in and say, what they'll say is, well, it depends on what we're talking about. But yeah, that's absolutely true. Guys' bodies peak right here. Hey, girls, do you know the average guy in this room? Now, guys, hold on, guys. The average guy in this room, every night while he's asleep, he ain't even awake, gets turned on 3 to 4 times every night. He's asleep. In fact, most guys wake up in the morning ready. Guys have terms for that little event. See, morning, yeah. Girls, do you know the average guy between the age of 12 and 19 years of age? Not every guy, but the average guy, 12 to 19, thinks about sex 20 times per hour. Look at the girls. And the guys are all going, that's way low, man. That is way low. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. This guy said, that's not true. It's 65 times an hour. Look at this guy. This guy goes, that's not true. It's only 1 time an hour, but it lasts all hour. See, if I could pull down a great big screen out of the scene, pull it way down, shut up all the lights, and if I had a very sophisticated, cool machine that I could plug into the brain of every guy in the room, and for the next 2 hours show you girls on that screen what us guys have been thinking since we woke up this morning. I'm wondering how many guys could stay seated here. See that? Now, guys, I'm a guy. This is not necessarily a bad thing. It's just like, we're so, whoa, horny suckers. Okay, but here's the point. Here's what I'm trying to get to. Hey, girls, guys, instead of a room filled with furniture, let's change this, and let's call this room a relationship, where sex is going on right here in the back seat of this car. So you and your boyfriend, girlfriend, you go for it. And just when you get done having sex, I come up to your car with my little clipboard. Hi, it's the sex guy. Hey, guy, here's my clipboard now that you've had sex. Hey, guy, list everything you see in the room, which is no more a room with furniture. It's a relationship. Hey, guy, list on my clipboard everything you see in the relationship. You know what the guy will write on the board? She got a body that won't quit. What else? Oh, she's hot, man. What else? Oh, she's dang good looking. What else? He doesn't see anything else. Do you know why? Because the more sex that enters the room, the less of the room the guy will see. Get it? So what's happening is sex. People, whenever people hear me do this talk, they think, oh man, I'm going to come in and tell them, don't do it. Are you kidding me? Do it. Once you're married, then go to bed and make up for lost time. You think I'm against sex? You're crazy. I'm not that stupid. You see it? Sex is unbelievable. Whatever you heard, it's more than that. But you guys, what you got to know is sex is so powerful and so fun, it's blinding people. They don't even know each other. You see what I'm getting at? Most adults that you hear talk about sex, they're going, oh, don't do it because it's going to be awful. Well, I mean, you got what, stupid or something? But look at sex is so powerful, it's blinding people. And so when they finally do get married, they think they know everything about each other. And because of all the feelings and stuff that sexuality brings, they think they love each other because they have feelings for each other, but feelings and love are not the same thing. So if you're sexually involved with your boyfriend or girlfriend, I would bet you that you're sitting here listening to this and saying, well, we're having sex and it's not hurting us. But that's what everybody says. So here's my challenge to you. In fact, let me read this. This is from a girl who heard this and said, I'm crazy. Listen to this. I've only got one question to ask you. My boyfriend and I already have a sex relationship. We've talked about sex, the pros and cons, and we've taken all the appropriate procedures. She thinks it's surgery. Anyway, we have a very good relationship in every way. We're best friends. I truly mean that. Neither one of us are sexually oriented. We always talk about many different things, and we know practically everything about each other. We're not married. We're together only by choice, but forever. So my question is, how could stopping having sex, something we both enjoy, how could that make our lives any better? She signed her name. She goes, P.S., write me back. So instead of writing this girl back, I filed her letter. I actually laminated it, like you see it here. I put it in my file, and I waited till I heard this girl broke up with her boyfriend. She wrote it to me when she was a sophomore in high school. She broke up with him when she was a senior. I went to the school. I had this letter. I hid it behind my back. She didn't know I had it. I looked her up, and I said, hey, I hear you broke up with your boyfriend. She whipped around. First thing she said to me is, yeah, and if I find him, I'm going to kill him. I'm sitting there thinking, do I want to do this? You know, she's going to kill me. I said, gosh, what happened? She goes, I'll tell you what happened. She goes, I really loved him, but he's the only guy I've ever dated, and I just wanted to meet some other guys. Does that sound familiar to you? Boom. This guy got so mad at this girl for breaking up, he snuck into her house. He had a key or something. Yanked a lamp out of the wall. When she came home, he beat that girl to a bloody pulp. Almost killed her. She's standing in the hall talking to me. Her whole face is black and blue, eyes swollen, almost shut, stitches in her forehead. This guy almost killed her. And then I pulled her letter back and I said, 3 years ago, you wrote me this letter. Now listen to it. We have a very good relationship in every way. We're best friends. We know practically everything about each other. We're not married. We're together only by choice, but forever. And then I stopped. I looked at this girl. Tears are now running down her cheeks. I said, but 3 years ago, you asked me this question. You never would have believed me then, but I know you will now. Your question went like this. How could stopping having sex, something we both enjoy, how could that make our lives any better? I said, because you wouldn't have been fooled into thinking that sex and a relationship were the same thing. You thought that, and it almost got you killed. And this poor girl, she looked up at me and she says, you're right. If I could give everybody in this room just one reason why wait to have sex in marriage, oh, you're going to have sex, but wait till you get it in marriage. Because sex is so powerful, it's destroying relationships. And by the time they get there, 2 years into the marriage, 2 weeks into the marriage, they find out they don't know anything about each other. In fact, let me prove that. Let me just tell you this. If you're sexually involved with your boyfriend or girlfriend and you think sex isn't hurting you, and I understand why you say that, but here's what I want you to do. Let's try an experiment. Let's go on a 10-week experiment with no sex. 3 minutes of every day of that 10 weeks, you can hug that person and kiss them, but you can't touch any other body parts except right there. Let's find out how much you really know about each other. Now, I've had literally, probably 400 or 500 high school couples at least try that for the 10-week thing. And I probably know 5, 10 that have actually made it for the whole 10 weeks without having sex. Now, there's probably more, but that's all the ones I know. I've had hundreds of them try it. Here's one girl who actually tried it, but she didn't make it. Listen to this. Dear Mr. Henning, my boyfriend and I are or were very sexually active. After your talk, we tried your 10-week thing. Couldn't even last a weekend. And then listen to this. We weren't even aware that we had nothing in common. On Sunday morning, he broke up with me. He said he's really horny and he can't handle it. So, by the way, I went back and checked my calendar. I did my talk on Friday afternoon. He broke up with her on Sunday morning. That's less than 3 days this guy could handle it. Now, girls, let's say you married this guy. And once you got married to him, he gets a great job as a traveling salesman. Long-haul trucker. Professional sports. Hey, girls, can you trust him? Nope. Number 2 reason why wait is because you got to build trust in a relationship. Now, if I was in just a regular high school during the day instead of evening doing this kind of thing, the thing I'd say is, hey, you guys, where's my wife right this minute? Now, she happens to be in the back here, but in most talks, she's long gone. Where's my wife right now? And I tell you, I have no idea. She thinks I'm at your school, but man, I could have called in here sick. I'm not feeling good. I could be out with some girl. She'd never know that. Where's my wife? I have no idea. She could be with somebody else. How do I know? Because for 2.5 years, at the very beginning of our relationship, we sat down and said, you know what? I'm a virgin now. I'm going to be a virgin on my honeymoon night. And you, by the way, Barb, you can ask any of the girls I dated, because you know some of them. If I'm not telling the truth, well, don't date me. But and some of you in this room might even know some people I've dated. It's like I treated them right. But look, I can go anywhere and run into anybody, and I'm never going to be haunted by the things that I've seen. Why wait? Because you got to build trust in a relationship. Have you got guts for that? Try me. 10 weeks, no sex. Number 3 reason why wait. I had a guy come into my office one time, and this really shook me up, man. He came into my office, and he started shutting the door, and I looked up, and I called him by name, and boy, tears are running down this guy's cheeks, and I said, are you all right? He goes, no. And here's the story. He sat down in my office, tears running down his cheeks, and he goes, when I was in junior high, high school, and college, he says, I went to bed with every girl I ever dated. He says, I went to bed with every one of them, never missed one. And he was married when he told me this. I said, you're not having an affair, are you? He goes, no. He says, but every time I make love to my wife, all I can see is all the other girls. He says, Brad, some of those girls had better bodies than my wife. Some are better lovers than my wife. He goes, I don't want them. I want my wife right here. And he burst into tears, fell out of his chair, sobbing on the floor in my office. Now, what would you have said to him? Oh, don't think about it. Does that work for you guys? Does that work? Do you guys ever wake up with a song in your mind that drives you absolutely crazy? You go, that's the last time I'm going to sing this song. Not too long ago, my parents used to own a music store, and everybody that came into this music store played Louie Louie. Louie Louie. And I hate that. I've always hated that song. And it's a really, really old song. But man, I got this is like last year during the school year. Man, I woke up singing that stinking song all day long, and I couldn't get it out of my mind. See, your mind doesn't just forget stuff. Back here, try this. I'll give $100 to anybody in this room who for the next 3 minutes you won't think about monkeys. Go. How'd you do? As soon as I said the word monkey, man, bam, this little funky thing. See, I mean, you can't help it. Try this one. I'll give $100 to anybody in the room. I'll give $100 to anybody in the room who, for the next 3 minutes, you won't think about the last person you went to bed with. Go. Now, for all you virgins in the room, good for you. I'm proud of you. But look, you can't play my game because there's no way you could lose. I mean, see, that's not fair. But for all the people in this room who are no longer virgins, don't you even try to tell me that person isn't right there. You know it, and so do I. You think this is all going to go away when you get married? It doesn't. I did a parent night one time, and a dad, and it was like 10:30 at night. I was exhausted, and I was loading all my junk into the truck, and his dad was helping me load it up. And I turned to thank him, and tears were running down this guy's cheeks. I mean, we're out in the parking lot, it's kind of funky lights were going on, and this guy's crying. I said, hey, are you all right? And he goes, no, I'm not. I said, what's wrong? He said, when I was in college, he says, I got a job as a lifeguard. He says, at a pool or a lake, I don't remember what. He goes, I met another lifeguard guy who taught me how to get any girl I ever wanted to go to bed with me. He had a system, and he says, it never failed. He says, as God is my witness, he raised his hand. He says, as God is my witness, in a 3-month period, 90 days, he says, I went to bed with over 200 girls. That's more than 2 girls a day. And I looked, before I even caught myself, I said, are you still married? And he goes, I'm married to a wonderful lady. He says, our lives have totally changed. But he says, you can't fathom what it's like to make love to your wife, knowing all you can see is all those other girls. Do you see this? Hey, girls, Remember a little while ago I gave you the illustration? You go to the senior prom or whatever dance, get your hair done, cool dress, and in the door comes a girl with the same dress on as you. Remember that? Hey, girls, how far away from that girl that you want to stay? Girls? Man, as far as you can get. Why? Because you don't want to be compared to that girl in her dress. But girls, what's it going to be like to date and marry a guy that's been to bed with, well, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 girls? He's not comparing you to that girl in her dress. He's comparing you to that girl out of her dress. I want to know how you're going to do with that. Does this stuff ever haunt people? Look at this. Wife's premarital past haunts longtime husband. Ghost of ex-boyfriend blocks woman from giving herself now to her husband. A high school guy, I got a letter from a guy. This guy's he's a senior, he's dating a senior girl. He was a virgin, but his girlfriend wasn't. One night she felt so badly about her, not being a virgin that she told him all about this guy she'd been to bed with, but she refused to tell him who it was that she went to bed with. But he wrote me later on a letter 2 weeks later after she did that. And he says it so shook him up that he just couldn't get the thoughts of her being in bed with some other guy that he broke up with her. But what he never did find out is she had been to bed with his best friend. And he still doesn't know it. Why wait? Because there's no comparison. On my honeymoon night when I married my wife, I was a virgin, so was she. See that? If I'd have looked at, no, I didn't do this, but if I'd have looked at my wife and said, hey, how'd I do? You know what she would have said? Compared to what? You were awesome. Do you realize what a gift it would be to say something? Man, I've been waiting my whole life for you, and it's been tough. See that? Now, for all you people in the room that are no longer virgins, you hang with me. It's not like I'm saying, oh boy, you're all screwed up. But you got to understand, the more you do now before you're married, the more chance you have of destroying something in the future. And it happens all the time. Why wait? There's no comparison. Number 4 reason why wait, pregnancy and abortion. Now, I have a stack of letters that I've gotten from girls. It is unbelievable of what they've gone through because of abortions. Now, this is a letter. It's actually got to be a kind of a famous letter because I read this everywhere. It was 6 pages, handwritten, that I retyped. Her handwriting's gross. In fact, I think I got the original up here. But I recopied it so you could hear this. This is word for word. Nothing has been changed, spelling, grammar. I want you to listen to this. Now, girls in the room, you can't do this kind of talk with this size group and not have a girl, 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 girls that have been through this. My goal isn't to make you feel bad. My goal is for the girls that have never been through this to understand it and to not take the chance of having it happen to you. Listen to this girl. I got to be very honest with you, but you really scared the poo-poo out of me. That's a word. You made me really think about everything. I just think that you should talk to kids at a younger age, like 13 years of age, because I'll tell you why. Well, I was in the 8th grade. I was 14 years old when I lost my virginity to a guy whom I had a crush on and would almost do anything he wanted, and I think he knew that too. But I thought if I gave it up to him, he'd like me, but it lasted about 1 more month, and I never heard from him again. I was really crushed by this. I didn't think your first time should be like that, and wish to God to this day I would have waited till I was married. Well, now I have a boyfriend for a year now, and I think in that short a time we've been through so much, both good and bad. I've already had my first abortion, and she dated it. I really never forget that day. It was a Saturday, and me and my boyfriend have been thinking about it ever since I found out I was pregnant. There was a lot of thinking. One week we wanted to keep it, the next we didn't. It was such a hard thing to go through. I never want to be in that situation. Well, that Saturday morning, I woke up at 6 a.m., went to his house to pick him up. It was very dark out. As he got into the car, we just looked at each other. We both didn't really talk the whole way there. I think in our minds we were asking ourselves if we were doing the right thing, and I was also getting really nervous, asking myself, was it going to hurt? Would I chicken out? Was I going to regret it? As we got there and turned off the car, he turned to me and said, "Are you sure you want to go ahead with it?" I just sat there. I didn't want to, but I kind of knew what was best for us. He told me either way, he'd be with me. Well, as we walked in there, he stopped walking, looked down at my stomach, and he kissed it, and he rubbed it very slowly. Then we began walking. I was the first appointment, so no one was there except the staff. He gave them the money. It was $250. Then the nurse walked in, told us to come back. We sat down. She asked how long I thought I was. Well, Planned Parenthood told me I was 10 weeks, but she told me that I could be over 10. So we went back to this room, and I took off my pants and panties. My boyfriend came in with me, which the nurse was surprised because a lot of them would chicken out. She gave me a shot on my thigh, and then she began. It hurt so bad, the worst pain ever. I was ripping off my boyfriend's face. It took about 5 minutes. After it was done, she says I was 13 and a half weeks along, so it would be another $200. After lying in bed for 15 minutes, we left the room slowly, both very quiet. She told me I'd done very well, that there's 13-year-olds in there. I couldn't believe it. As we walked out to leave, there was a girl that was giving the secretary money for hers. She just looked up at me, and then she put her head down. I looked like crap. My hair was all messed up. Everyone in the waiting room just put their heads down, and as me and my boyfriend walked out, he gave me a big hug, and I looked back, and all the people were looking. I felt secure with my boyfriend there. A lot of them didn't have anybody with them. We drove home once again quiet. I was in shock, I guess you could say. That night after I woke up, we decided I needed to eat, so we went to a restaurant. As we sat there and ate, a little 2-year-old boy came up to our table and stared at us. I started to cry a little and could tell my boyfriend did too. It's so hard to see little kids and babies knowing I killed mine. Me and my boyfriend try not to think about it, but it's so hard. We both got to get on with our lives, but we'll always remember what we went through. It's also brought us much closer together, but I know I never want to go through it again. My parents don't know. I'm sure I'll tell them when I'm older. 2 weeks later, her boyfriend ditched her. The guy that made her so secure, he moved to some other state. I won't even tell you which one. It so shook this girl up that a couple weeks later she wound up, because she's alone now, she told her mom and dad, they kicked her out of her house. I never heard how that ended. She goes to the hospital in my town every week for almost 2 full months because of all of the complications that came from this abortion. And now this girl's an anorexic. Now, girls in the room, I got a question. I've told you just some of the difference between men and women and how we think. Do girls forget the things that have been said to them? No. So my question is to you, how long is it going to take this girl to get over this? Can she just go, that's the last time I'm ever going to think about it? No, it doesn't work. Look at this. I have to be so careful reading this because I've had a number of girls, just by reading this letter, burst into tears and run out of the room. And here's one girl from Tacoma, Washington. I was reading through this, and halfway through it, she took off running, crying, but she wrote me a great letter. Listen to this. When you were reading the letter about the abortion, I had to leave class because I know the story about abortions all too well. I've had 3 abortions, and I did use protection each and every time I had sexual intercourse. Just like you said, condoms are not 100% effective. Look at this. Here's a guy, sat through this whole talk, 2-hour talk, and he'd taken the last 15 minutes of this talk, and it'd be like you guys sitting here now writing this letter. He waited till everybody left the room, and he came up to me, man, hat on backwards, low rider pants, and he handed me this letter. And I wish every girl in this room could see this letter. Now look at this. All I have to say is thank you. I'm a 16-year-old junior, and less than 2 weeks ago, I just found out my girlfriend's pregnant. It was just another score. I don't love her. She was fine, he underlined it. I liked her. My friends said I couldn't get her. Well, I proved them wrong, huh? Her mom's making her get an abortion. I think it's for the best, but I'll think about it every day, wishing you'd talked to me a couple of weeks earlier. Oh, and condoms don't work every time, because I was wearing one and it broke. Now life sucks. I am this day vow to wait until I get married to ever have sex again. Why wait? You never even have to think about it. You see it? Pregnancy and abortion. Look at this. Anybody been wondering about this? Listen to this. I hope we can pick this up. This has been up here going for almost 2.5 hours now. And every time this went off, somebody in America got a sexually transmitted disease. Now, this isn't the world. This is just America. And in 2 hours of talking, over 3,500 people in America got a disease. In 2 hours. And nobody believes it. Do you know that the average, if this is the average group in America, and you're not, by the way, there'd be far more diversity and all kinds of, different things. But if this is the average group of Americans, do you know that the average girl in this room, starting at age 14 and up, 1 out of 4 girls in this room in America now has genital herpes? 1 out of 4 of every girl. 1 out of 5 guys do. 1 out of 4 of the people that are sexually involved in this room this year will get a sexually transmitted disease. At least 1 out of 4. And it's crazy. You know why you don't believe that? Look at here. How many people in this room, excluding anybody in your family and you, how many in this room know somebody from your school that has a sexually transmitted disease? I'm going to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And there's probably 150 people in the room. Why don't the rest of you know? You know why? If you had a disease, would you tell anybody? Hi, I'm Brad. I have herpes. I mean, you never tell anybody. By the way, the other reason that you don't know anybody that's got a disease, the majority of people who do have diseases right now, they don't know they've got them. And some of them, I have a very good friend. She got AIDS by a blood transfusion. It wasn't by her behavior. She just had a surgery. And it took 10 years for her to find that out. She didn't even know she had it. See, you can have it and you give it to everybody you got, but nobody knows. See that? And you don't know it because people don't talk about it. Why wait? You know what? It's never even dawned on me that I could ever have a sexually transmitted disease because I never did anything that would cause me to get that. Why wait? See that? The diseases. But here's the one I want you to see. Why wait? Now look at this. Guys in the room. Guys, that's you. And girls, that's you. Hey, girls, that is your future husband. And guys, that is your future wife. Now, this isn't the person that promises to marry you. This is the person that actually does it. I've known lots of people who've been engaged to get married, and 2, 3, 4 days before they got married, they called it off. I mean, it's really scary. But see, so you won't know who this person is till the day you're married on your honeymoon night, okay? You with me? But, guys, tonight, let's say, you're going to date this girl instead, and girls, you're actually going to date this guy. So you're going to date this person, but you're actually going to marry this person. Now watch this. Hey guys, all the guys in the room. Richard, come on, okay. All the guys in this room. Hey guys, do you mind, do you care if this guy goes to bed with your wife tonight? Guys? Yeah. Is there any guy, now guys, you're going to have to be very honest here. Don't screw around. Guys in the room, is there any guy in this room that would honestly say, and really mean it, that sincerely, it wouldn't bother you at all if this guy went to bed with your wife tonight? Is there any guy that'd be that honest? Now, you got to know, in the last 2 years, and this is probably 100,000 students, high school students, I have yet to have a guy raise his hand. Oh yeah, I don't care. Except for one guy who was sitting in an assembly next to his girlfriend. And I said, do you guys mind if this guy's going to bed? And this guy raised his hand. And his girlfriend, I thought she was going to kill him. She yanked us and you shut up. And the whole assembly, everybody just kind of was watching this. But guys, do you mind if this guy's going to bed with your wife? In fact, guys, let me put it this way. Do you guys mind if this guy does to your wife tonight what you're planning to do to your girlfriend tonight? Got it? Girls, do you mind if this girl goes to bed with your husband tonight? Really? I thought you wanted experienced partners. Nobody does. It's a myth. Guys, how far can you go with this girl that you're dating tonight? Easy answer, man. How far can this guy go with your wife tonight? Guys, do you mind if this guy takes your wife's clothes off and fools around? You know the term. Finger banging. By the way, I have a letter from a girl. That's what she was doing with her boyfriend. 2 of them were, they didn't even have intercourse, and she got pregnant. You know what her only question is? Am I still a virgin? I didn't know how to answer that. Guys, do you mind if this guy's doing a little bit of that to your wife? Not with my wife, you're not. Guys, do you mind if this guy has a little oral sex with your wife? Now, just so you know that I know, the number one sexual act that you guys are doing now is no longer intercourse, it's oral sex. You guys know that. By the way, did you also know that you can get every one of the sexually transmitted diseases, including AIDS, by having oral sex? Do you know that? But there are some organizations that are trying to teach people to have what we call, believe this or not, outer course. You know, Bill Clinton. Okay, I got a question. Guys, do you mind if this guy's having oral sex with you? Not with my wife. Okay, guys, you want to marry a virgin like every guy in this room said you did? I'm with you. That's exactly what I did. Then if that's true, tonight, guys, when you date this girl, you treat her the way you want that guy to treat your wife tonight. Because if you don't, man, what do you think's going to happen? Is there going to be any girls that are waiting for you? No. And guys, by the way, remember that somewhere over here, there's a guy who absolutely is going to date and marry the girl you're with tonight. And he's praying like crazy that you don't do something to her that these two are going to regret for the rest of their lives. And by the way, guys, that guy could be your best friend, and you don't know it. Some of my old girlfriends that I dated, I know their husbands, I know their kids, I know all about them. In fact, one guy, I do my talk in his school, and he dated and married one of the girls that I dated. Why wait? Because you don't steal from somebody else's marriage. Now, I want to end by telling you a quick story. And this is for all the people in the room. And if you're no longer a virgin, please, I'm not mad at you. I'm not pointing my boy or you screwed up. I'm just saying, look, wouldn't the most loving thing that you could do for your future wife or husband, wouldn't it be to draw a line in the sand and say, okay, I'm no longer a virgin, but I'm not doing this anymore? Wouldn't that be the best, choosing the very best for that person? Yeah. Well, a number of years ago, there's a guy that heard this whole talk, and he was a senior at the time. And when it came to this diagram right here, it so shook this guy up, because he was not a virgin. He was just kind of playing the field, playing all these girls. He liked to drink, real party guy. But when he heard this, it so shook him up that he went home and he wrote his future wife a letter. For all you people in this room that are no longer virgins, this is for you. He wrote, as a non-virgin, he wrote, "Dear," he didn't know who that is, so he left the line blank. He says, "My name is," and I can't tell you who he is. I wish I could. And he goes, when I was in, he says, "I'm in this grade and I've got this job," and blah, blah, blah. Last paragraph of his letter, he said, "The reason I'm writing you, my future wife, this letter is I want you to know how much I love you by that definition." And he wrote it in his letter. And he said, "When I was in high school, I did some stuff I wish to God I'd never done." He didn't describe it any more than that. He says, "I wish I wouldn't have done it. But from this day on," hand dated it, "I'm keeping myself for you physically, mentally, socially, emotionally, and spiritually." Signed his name, put it in an envelope, put 2 pictures of himself in the envelope with it, sealed it up, and he held that letter till the day he got married. 10 years later, he and I became a good friends. Now here's a guy. He has had sex. He quit. He said, I am not gonna hurt my wife anymore. 10 years, he and I became very good friends, and I got invited to be in his wedding. And I'm up on the platform, and I'm supposed to read something, and he's standing there, and I looked up at this guy. Now, this guy, he hasn't had sex for 10 years. So he's standing on the platform, this big silly grin on his face. And I looked up, and I started laughing. And he opened his coat, and he went like this. And I knew what it was. It was his letter. He hadn't given it to her yet. After the honeymoon, I got this thank you card in the mail from him. His wife wrote the first part, and then he wrote this: "Thank you for your support, and thanks for being a part of our wedding." Christine cried and continues to reread the letter. It was so nice to see what I wrote, to see the pictures I included. I think she was in shock for 30 minutes. So here's a guy, no longer a virgin, just like some of you. All right, have you got the guts for this? You think this girl doesn't love him? Man, why wait? Because you don't steal. Well, there's all kinds of other stuff that we haven't talked about. Bad reputations, best sex in marriage, and all kinds of stuff. But I just wanted to give you kind of the highlights and say, look, folks, it is worth waiting.